Shores Guides, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Galactic Federation, counseled by Elementals, Fae, Mary Magdalene, beings assigned to our team for our highest, holiest, heavenliest, most divine, godly good, celestial guardians, protectors, divine messengers, and all benevolent beings of light. What do we need to know about how it all began and how it all was meant to end? All right, what is up, Galactic Golden Ohana? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What's the vibe? I can see why the Most High had me sit back and meditate yesterday, because the messages I received yesterday and what woke me up this grand rising created knots in my stomach. Like, I was like, ooh, this is serious. There was a lot of conversation in the ethers about what is to occur, about those that were attempting to play God on this planet, and how they refused to listen. I kept hearing seal, the sixth seal, Revelation 6, the sixth seal, Revelation 6. And I was like, okay, this is some serious business. When I looked up Revelation 6, it said Revelation 6 focuses on the opening of the first 6 of 7 seals on the scroll held by Yeshua, symbolizing God's judgment upon the world. And y'all know we've been calling judgment on the world. These seals unleash a series of events, including the symbolic 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, signifying conquest, war, famine, and death. The chapter also depicts the suffering of martyrs and the terrifying cosmic disturbances that follow the breaking of the 6th seal. Ultimately, these chapters highlight humanity's response to these judgments, with people hiding from God's wrath. And y'all just caught 111 in the chat? That is confirmation right there. There are individuals, organizations, networks, and societies, those of old, corrupted, fallen angel bloodlines, that are panicking right now because they are witnessing the wrath of the divine, the wrath of the Most High on this planet. And it looks like they have come to the conclusion that it has something to do with how they targeted you and what you have evolved into as an angelic enforcer. How your rank has elevated, and with every elevation comes more divine wrath, more judgment. And whatever these individuals recently planned to do, there was something that occurred or something that is about to occur that is going to set them back permanently from targeting you, or put them back. Something they were intending on following through with, that they're no longer. It's like there is a division here. It's the division. They're no longer targeting you, but arguing amongst each other because of what is occurring in their groups. And the division that is this split, the division that is happening pertaining to those with divine right to move forward within their destiny, and those that attempted to play God and manipulate this world for a specific outcome. How do I even put this? This is such a heavier message to give, because I can feel the sweeping judgment. I can feel the way that the divine is purifying this realm, and it is heavier. There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of terror, but it's not coming from the divine side. It's not coming from the light collective. It is coming from those that could not turn things around in their favor and are watching things crumble as we speak, are watching their organizations, networks, and societies fall apart. And we were going to talk about the beginning, where these individuals had acquired certain occult information from, where these individuals had started to view themselves as above others, where MK Ultra even stemmed from. And it was those that had been here long before this physical reincarnation, long before we had these physical vessels, long before certain programs came into play pertaining to the simulation itself. These were individuals that had been working alongside fallen angel bloodlines only to procreate with them. These fallen angel bloodlines, these supernatural beings that were being worshipped as gods. And these beings had given this information to those, had shared this information to those that had been residing on this planet, assisting them with certain elevations so that they would go from just being human to more. And their ego started to build upon what they were receiving from these fallen angel bloodlines, those that they viewed as gods. And with the information they gained, they had started to play God in this realm, alongside the fallen angel bloodlines that they had procreated with, eventually creating bloodlines that you see in power today. These individuals who have been able to slow the aging process in order to maintain these positions of power on this planet for longer. Those that have kept these secrets within their bloodlines in an attempt to keep their bloodlines on top. With the wealth transfers that are occurring, the power transfers that are occurring, it is because the dismantling of these organizations, networks, and societies that could no longer rely on this occult, ancient, celestial information and technology they had obtained in order to control this realm and enslave souls. And this is what we are reading on. So now you know where it all began. These individuals that viewed themselves as weak only for these fallen angel bloodlines, these celestial, supernatural beings coming to this planet and deciding to network and procreate with these beings here, making them not so helpless anymore. Only for these beings' ego to flare and them deciding that they wanted to control this planet. They wanted to use the information given to them and the advanced technology that they had to manipulate and control this reality, this planet, and put themselves in position of power for all eternity. That was the plan. Their bloodlines would maintain positions of prosperity and power. And with the divine movement and advancement of this planet, more and more of these individuals have been receiving judgment. Their organizations, networks, and societies, different branches collapsing. And this is why they are panicked, because not only are they seeing this judgment sweep through their groups and their corrupted fallen bloodlines, but they are also seeing it sweep through this world. Mama Gaia is reacting to the energy being poured into this planet and how Mama Gaia is being guided to purge out all that is unnecessary to the advancement of this planet. These individuals have not been invited into the true world. The divinity that has now fully, in a sense, taken control of this realm and is now influencing it. So this is what we're reading on. This is why they had me sit for so long yesterday meditating on this, because it was such a heavier energy just to get all of this information on how these beings had moved, how they came into play, and why so many of us had forgotten who we were intentionally, and why, because, excuse me, this is how, yes, 144,000 in the house. What is up, Galactic Golden Chosen Children? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. This live is about to be very deep. But this is also how MK Ultra comes into play. Mental manipulation as well as psychological warfare. It started from the beginning. Many of us, if not all of us, had been intentionally repressed from remembering. And being with certain individuals they deemed as weaker and not being able to hold access to this information, their minds were wiped. Their minds were manipulated, and with that manipulation and the bloodlines that had been created within that manipulation, nobody remembered who they were. Coming through the portals of those that had been mentally manipulated, that bloodline was meant to remain in that type of manipulated state to where they were not meant to remember who they were before they came to this planet. So those that had been initially mentally manipulated were meant to be the ones that were procreating for the enslavement of the souls that they were bringing into this world and the potential power those souls would hold as they came through the portal of their karmic mother. Or I won't say karmic mother. Coming through the portal of a potential divine being that had been mentally manipulated into lower vibrational cycles. So many of us, with the awakening we have gone through, we have broken this manipulation off our lineages from the beginning. And this took a very long time. This is why the ascension process was so slow. It wasn't immediate. It wasn't as accelerated as it is now, because of the shock that we would face to our systems, remembering everything, knowing everything. And we weren't meant to know the entirety of it. But again, Through this, with the information we had gained, some of you did have a karmic maternal figure, but that was because of the previous cycles, the ancestral manipulation from the beginning. And that had been a very long lineage of mental manipulation, consistent cycle programming to keep you in a loop. And many of these individuals were unable to break through these cycles, which is why it laid on your shoulders and why the Divine and the Most High trusted so deeply that you would be able to handle this, because of how much was done to your lineage as a intended soul enslaved battery, basically. How much was placed on your lineage in order to keep you within these cycles, to continue these cycles and these loops, to obtain off your essence and your energy for those that perceive themselves as higher forces upon this planet. And with you being the generational curse breaker, you were breaking this off your lineage. You were remembered to remember. That's actually one of the things that XXX Tentacion has tattooed on his face. Remember to, or his neck, remember to remember. You were the one that was set to remember in order to assist in the reprogramming of this planet, to counteract the type of manipulation tactics that these fallen angel bloodlines were using for so long in order to keep the souls enslaved, necessary to keep them at the top and receive energy in order to power not only the simulation, but their corrupted advancement. And that's what we're going to be reading on today. And I know that's a lot to handle. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But this is definitely for 144,000 chosen galactic golden Ohana members, chosen children of the Most High, who are the generational curse breakers and the ones to permanently dismantle and divide the lower vibrational, corrupted, evil, malicious, nefarious, diabolical fallen angel bloodlines. And elite individuals that had been maintained these positions and were doing, like we talked about before, we're doing things in order to slow down the aging process and have supernatural activations, supernatural abilities. So let's see what we got going on here. Stabilized, stability. It came out sideways. So it looks like these organizations, networks, and societies, these heads and bottom branches, have been working to stabilize in a timeline, again, they would be able to control. Yes, I did say MK Ultra, but that's where it stems from. So I see a comment in the chat going, you said MK Ultra. I did. Where this is why so many of us, it took such a long time to remember all of what we had been and call it back to us. These were lifetimes, generations, centuries that we had experienced this mental manipulation to forget who we were, so that we would never become who we were meant to be, to break through these illusions, to break through the programs of corruption that were being maintained and poured into in order to keep us in cycles of lower vibration, to keep us from ever collectively advancing, collectively ascending, and changing the trajectory of this planet, and experiencing the wealth and power transfers these individuals were fighting tooth and nail from us ever having, so they would be able to maintain. Like I said, stability out here. They wanted to keep this. They wanted to stabilize in timelines they'd be able to control. And you were the one. It's something that, I won't even say it's something about you. They know that God put you here as a failsafe. And not just a failsafe, an activator. A massive influence here. That you would change everything with what you had gone through, which was everything. How much darkness you intook, how much you learned with what you faced, and how you could use it against these individuals. How you would decode it and recode it and integrate it into this realm so that it would no longer be manipulated by the occult ancient information and technology these individuals had, overriding it completely. And this is why they are terrified. It's basically like they have been left open, vulnerable. Because nothing they used to do that was working is working. Not on you, not on this planet. And this is why Revelation 6, the sixth seal, this is why they were impulsive and reckless, and now they're being cautious. This is why I had been guided to deliver this message, but take yesterday off to meditate on it. Because with the sixth seal being broken, many of you have been seeing the massive changes to this planet. Things that shouldn't be happening that are. And this has made them even more cautious about advancing towards you, knowing that everything that they do inevitably bounces back to them and they have no protection against it. I'm not seeing these individuals choose to surrender, but I see them, like I said yesterday, they're having meetings. They're communicating about what to do next, because them acting rashly and impulsively got them nowhere. It only made things worse. And the way that you have been sealed, you are a very special, specific seal. And when the seal, it's like you have been sealed with divine protection, but you've also been sealed in a way that when that seal upon you was broken, through the torment that you experienced, the attempted experimentation that these individuals were doing to you, it cracked open a very specific seal within you that unleashed upon this world what the divine intended at this time. I'm also hearing Age of Aquarius. It's like you were, I heard Spark the 8th. You were meant to be unleashed on the world. Exactly, it activated you. You were meant to be unleashed on the world at a specific time. And that time had come with how cocky and arrogant these individuals had gotten. And how that cockiness and that arrogance soon turned into terror as they realized what they had done to you did not break you. But you changed, you transformed, you evolved into something different. Something they didn't understand. And that's when they started to know that they had fucked up. Because you weren't something registered in their vault. You weren't something they had documented or studied before. You weren't something that God had ever classified being accessible or being able to exist on this planet. And yes, they had many warnings. Exactly, John. They had many warnings. And this is exactly why they had me bring up the sixth seal. Like I said, we are now seeing this happen. And it is the end of the old world as we know it. Not the world as a whole, but the old world. There is a refreshing restart happening for those that are meant to advance. And those that are being limited from advancing are facing the collapse of the old world. All that worked in the old world doesn't work now. And those that had maintained positions of power and prosperity and recognition in the old world, they are being stripped in the worst way. These are also those that, again, we talked about this previously, that had been slowing down their age with the type of essence they were intaking and having certain activations and influence enhancements from the essence they were intaking. That is no longer working. So you're seeing individuals age rapidly. You're seeing individuals get sick more frequently. We got keeping still meditation. You're seeing individuals go through things that they didn't before, and you may have thought, wow, they must just be lucky. No. They were using certain old occult and ancient information as well as doing certain rituals in order to maintain these positions and remove themselves from outcomes that would lead to a demise. And now they're being faced with all of them at once. And they can't run. They can't run from this wrath. They can't run from this judgment. They attempted to play God since the beginning. And this pride has led to their fall. With keeping still, we got meditation, self-renewal, composure, detachment, self-acceptance, serenity. You may have seen something in meditation. This also lets me know that you're going through enhancements. You're going through renewal. So not only is the true world going through this renewal, the division, the separating of the wheat from the chaff, but you are also going through an evolution and renewal. There are changes being made in your auric field, your light body, and your physical vessel as we speak. We got innocence, a purification process. This is a purification process happening not only for you, purging out what is no longer necessary with the level that you have reached, and preparing you to intake more of what comes with the new world, exactly upgrades. But this is also a purification of the planet. So you got organizations, networks, societies, a karmic familial unit, as well as an X, but we're focusing on these organizations, networks, and societies, the heads and the branches that are trying to find a way to run from judgment, run from God's wrath. There are individuals that they feared death while you faced it. And this fear of death, while seeing themselves as gods, led them to experimenting on the people to find a way to be immortal. So, not only were they slowing down their aging process, they were trying to find a way to beat death. That is even more disrespectful to the Most High. Where you faced the angel of death, and God told this angel it was not your time, these individuals have been trying to find a way to run from it. Centuries, lifetimes of manipulation, of corruption, of mentally manipulated programs to keep individuals docile, and feeding not only the system but these individuals within these positions. And it's all crumbling. We got the Traveler and the Tower. This is some serious business with completion, a victory. These individuals traveled. You are a traveler. You are somebody that has come from different dimensions. Like, you are a multi-dimensional traveler. You have experienced many lives. I won't even say many lives. This is giving like original. You are an original soul that has lived all lives necessary to bring down these towers on this planet. To bring down towers on the corrupt, to be the angelic enforcer that you are, that you've been activated to be. But it took you going through a multitude of evolutions, a multitude of deaths and rebirths, and different ascended levels. Not many could reach the level that you are currently on, but it's because of what you were put here to do. You traveled through lifetimes for this moment. Each one being looked over by the divine. Each one being tallied. Especially with completion coming out here. Each one that had not been completed came into play in the next lifetime until you had completed out all that was necessary for you to reach this point. So if a previous lifetime was not completed, things that you had not completed in that lifetime would come to play in your next one. And it was like how do I explain this? Each lifetime, there would be things added to make sure that everything was complete, which is why this may be your last life here, making sure everything was complete for when you reach this lifetime. This was going to be the time that the reincarnation, the divine, took the planet back. But it was a long process. This is a lot of lifetimes that your soul needed to live to be prepared for this one. And again, everything that was incomplete in previous lifetimes would come to play in the next. And if you were unable to finish it in that lifetime, it would come to play in the next until it was completed. Interesting. So even these lifetimes were levels. I heard slowly breaking away at the matrix itself with every reincarnation, gaining information and wisdom that would be necessary to completely dismantling the system entirely in this one. Every lifetime was necessary. You couldn't skip one. But you could choose to. You didn't. This is such a deep message. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Because this is not going to be everybody's message. You know if it's for you. Yeah, no wonder I feel so old. Yeah, your soul is eternally old. Believe me, I feel that energy. Millions and millions and millions of years old. Which is another reason why you knew you were not of this planet, but you were in this planet for a reason. You always felt since a very young age that you had a massive purpose here. You always knew you were going to change the world. You just didn't know how. You always knew you were a healer, enthusiastic. We got excitement, inspiring others, totality, success, sharing, and a positive response. Like I said, you always knew that you were going to be massively impactful to this planet, that you were going to change the world, you just didn't know how. This lets me know that the divine has given you some type of platform. Not only power, but a reach. I shouldn't have said platform, but some of you do have platforms. Some of you are about to be given a platform, but this is reach. Influence, affluence, expansion, and reach. The way your energy was meant to not only impact this planet, but all those on it. Basically, your energy stood up and went, wake up. And it was so piercing. It was so intense. It was so heavy. It was so powerful that soul started to activate. Not to mention the activations you have within your own energy and the way they're able to affect others, impact others, if they are open and receptive to that type of, I won't say that type of, if they are open and receptive to new divine codes being installed. They're open and receptive to ascending. And after that, it started to happen in waves, where those receptive then started emanating that energy, and those receptive around them, or that they were influencing, that were receptive to that, started to do the same. It was a domino effect. And with every wave within the collective that woke up, was every wave of these elites, these organizations, networks, and societies that had been corrupted started to fall, started to experience backlash, because they were losing control. And the more control that they lost, the more power, perceived power, was being redistributed to the divine being stepping into theirs, because that's where the power was rightfully meant to be. You took back your bloodline's power. You took back your bloodline's inheritance. You took back your bloodline's rights. And this is why so many ancestors have not only been working with us on the other side, but have been freed. This is a deeper message. You're not only the generational curse breaker, but you're the ancestral soul saver. You called back all that was due to your lineage, and not just yours, but others who you have assisted with their ascension that have called back their power. The power that was being for lifetimes poured into these corrupted individuals' position of power and perceived authority, as well as their pockets, aka prosperity, and their influence over this realm. And so many of us are doing this right now. So many of us are standing in our power, and this is another reason why the sixth seal has broken. The fifth seal is the cry of the martyrs for vengeance and justice. Don't believe me? You can look it up. The fifth seal had already broken. We all stepped collectively together and said, no, judgment. I call for justice. I call for the Lord's vengeance, for the divine and the Most High's vengeance over my life and my lineage and my divine destiny, my divine inheritance. Because I now realize what is going on. I now realize how so many things were set in place to make sure that we failed, to make sure that we would never receive recognition for our soul's expression, so that we would never step into our life's purpose and calling, so that we would never wake others up. So many of us that have been called crazy and conspiracy theories, which conspiracy, if I can get the word out, was actually a word that the CIA had created. I won't say created, but had set in place for those that were speaking on certain things that they were having downloaded. Certain things that they were experiencing that they wanted to know if others resonated with. To exactly, Empress, to block the truth. Which they're one of these organizations, by the way. I'm just going to put that out there. So with us collectively standing together and calling for justice, calling for vengeance, knowing the truth, relaying information not only via social media but energetically, more and more started to wake up. More and more started to realize that things with the simulation, with the matrix, were not right. And that the reality that they had been programmed to believe was truly their world, was truly what they should be living, was actually a lie. And that the true world, the real world, the truth had been concealed. It had been covered up. There had been certain programs set in place so that we would never see it. We would never reach it. We would never experience it, because it would mean the demise of those who saw themselves as gods. Who saw themselves as, this is why so many individuals have called this a prison planet. Who saw themselves as the powers that only were meant to be upon this planet. That they could do whatever they wanted, manipulate and take out whoever they wanted, acquire and keep whatever they wanted. And that time has come to an end. And this is exactly why we reincarnated here. Yep, look at this. The prayers of the martyr. You see her prayer hands right there? With moderation, humility, lack of pretension, keep it simple, self-respect, sincerity, and respectability. You are highly respected in the ethers and the spirit realm. But not only highly respected, you are being moved forward because of how much divinity you have assisted with being integrated into this realm, where there were certain things set in place to keep it out. We did talk about the inorganic grid system and what this grid system was used for, not only to transmit certain lower vibrational energy to further influence the souls upon this planet, but also set in place to keep as much divinity, as much light out of this planet, to keep the world in a low enough vibration that divinity and light would not be able to align, would not be able to infiltrate. And this is, I heard, rewarded. This was a lot of work that was put in to advance the planet to a point where more divinity could be allowed in, where the grid system was, the inorganic grid system was dismantled. This is also the fact that you, even though you hold this power, you wield this power that has been activated within you, you don't abuse it. Not like those who had held a sliver of this power and viewed themselves as gods. You're a very humble being. You respect the divine movement and the plan, and you are actively participating in it. It's like you have been awarded yet another badge because of how you see the whole process, how you are viewing your mission, and how you are using your abilities to advance this planet and assist the souls with understanding what is occurring. You are being highly blessed. This is what they mean by reward. Incoming channel. Don't take for granted. Don't take for granted what we give you, knowing very well that it was due. Don't take for granted what we give you, knowing very well that it was due. So some of you have an incoming of like a lot of prosperity or an incoming of something. I don't feel like you would take it for granted, but it's almost giving like the energy I'm feeling is you would kind of brush it off. You don't view whatever's being given to you as like important, but the divine is like, you are worthy of this. The divine is deeming this as necessary for your expansion. That's what I'm getting. Like, don't take this for granted. When you get it, it's kind of like the divine doesn't want you to brush it off. So if this is a lot of prosperity, a lot of abundance, you may look at it and go, I'm just going to let that sit there. Like, I don't even want to look at it. I don't even want to know it exists. I'm just going to leave it there until I need it. But you are going to be guided on how to move with this. Don't take for granted what is given to you. It's you paid your dues. It's owed to you. So whatever this is, it's owed to you. It has been recalled and reclaimed. So yes, it does feel like some type of sustainability, and it is here to stay. But I feel like you would view it as being an additive to your mission, but not part of your mission. You see what I'm saying? Like whatever this is, you may put it on the back burner while continuing to attempt to focus on how to move next pertaining to your mission. But this is a part of your mission. We got conflict. What about this conflict? They saw you as small until you started moving this realm. Now they're working to try and diffuse negativity and restore harmony. So you got individuals that were hostile towards you. Groups, organizations, networks, or societies, brotherhoods, or sisterhoods that were working to bring some type of downfall. They were aggravated that you kept beating them. Their ego got in the way. So you're receiving something from your level up with the experiences you had with elite individuals. These individuals, they're looking at you and knowing they underestimated you. The small is beautiful. They saw you as a small fry. They saw this as being easy. They never thought that it would lead to all of this. Can you imagine that? Like, we're going to use ants for an analogy. Can you imagine going to squash an ant and it lifts your hand and starts swinging you around? That would be terrifying. You don't expect something so small, so unassuming to have this type of power. That's what I'm getting. Is these individuals targeted you. They saw your light, they wanted it. They viewed your light as being an asset to their advancement, an asset to their corrupted progression. But they never thought that attacking you would lead to the type of changes on this planet that it has. I'm also getting with diffuse negativity and restore harmony. They never thought that targeting you would balance out the world. That you would have this type of connection to the divine. You would have this type of authority as an angelic enforcer, that you would ever elevate to this level to where you would speak on things and they would rapidly start to occur. You would call for judgment and it would come down. You have these individuals gobsmacked right now. They don't know what to do with you. They don't know what to do about you because they know that the more that they target you, the worse it gets for them. But they know if they don't do something, it's only going to lead to an ending and a demise for them. And this is why yesterday I talked about with the video that I had posted telling you guys that I was going to meditate on it, that these individuals were in a meeting. They're having a conversation. They can't figure it out. They can't crack the code. They don't know how to turn things around in their favor. They don't know if they can. And the thing is, they can't. It's already too late. By the time they realized what was happening simultaneously to the attacks that they were waging on you, it had activated you. It had put you in a position to where everything that you intook, everything that you alchemized would influence the planet. They had already fed you too much information accidentally. We got the corners of the mouth. Nourishment, health, well-being, providing for others, creating balance, nurturing the body, mind, and spirit. You keep healing. Abundance. You keep healing. With abundance, you got an abundance of health. So this lets me know these individuals were targeting your vessel. They were targeting your babies, your fur babies. They needed to put you in a position to be very depressed or very sick. Excuse me, I was corrected. They needed to hit you in a way where it would lower your vibration enough for something else to adhere. So the targeting of your babies or your fur babies was to put you in a state of anxiety, fear, and depression, depending on what was supposed to adhere. Putting you in a position to be aligned with the type of premature death they were intending for you. But you, your babies, and your fur babies, with the work that you've been doing and the type of angelic forces around you, have elevated you. There is a healing going on to your vessel, your fur babies, and your babies, as well as your home. I heard your home will be filled with health. No death or dis-ease will touch you, not until it's time. This is a part of your reward. Immortalization of your soul, of your spirit. You have earned your rightful place next to the ascended after this life. So many of you, it's going to be your last life here. You have earned your position next to the ascended after this life. And it's your choice whether or not you choose to guide those after you. So some of you will be having children, and your children will be having children. Or some of you already have children. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And your children will be having children. Maybe they already do. You will be given the choice to come back through and guide them. Whether it's in the physical or as a ascended being that is a spirit guide, an ascended guide to those that come after you. To those that come after you. Difficult in the beginning. You see the baby in the egg? It's kind of like a big baby though. Growing pains, doubts and fears, awkwardness, becoming stronger, vulnerability, and inexperience. So for those that come after you that are inexperienced to what has been set in place for True Earth, you have the choice to come through and guide them with the experience that you have with the battles you faced during your reincarnation. But again, nobody fear, because I'm not saying this is going to happen anytime soon. What I am saying is, once the divine decides to take you, you will have the choice whether or not you want to come back through into this realm or be an ascended guide to those after you. This also lets me know that you did the most difficult part. It was difficult in the beginning. You did the most difficult part for your children and their children. For those that come after us, doesn't have to be in your lineage, but those that are going to be taking care of this planet long after our physical vessels are gone. This also lets me know these individuals, organizations, networks, and societies are attempting to find a weakness, but they cannot. You only keep becoming stronger. But hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, Galactic Golden Ohana. We got influence. If you are coming in right now, I would highly advise that you watch back the beginning just so you have a firmer understanding of what is currently being channeled. What happened in the beginning and how it all has to end. How it is all meant to end. And it's for everything that has been set in place to bloom. The beginnings that are due to those that have called back their ancestral destiny, their ancestral power, their ancestral inheritance, their positions, the torch that has been passed to you, what God put you in place to take back and reclaim. With influence here, natural magnetism, stimulating, connecting, mutual attraction, courtship, and genuine affection. This also lets me know there is an influence, a transfer of influence. You're gaining more traction in this world. You're gaining more attention. But the attention that you're gaining, it puts you in a position to activate and influence so many more souls into seeing the truth, into knowing the truth, holding the truth, and taking divinely guided action upon what they have learned, what they now know. What is this? It wants to hide in the deck. And yes, this is the end for a new beginning. Retreat and maintaining a dark profile. Maintaining a low profile. So we got dark individuals that are retreating. This is split here. This is what the divine talked about division. Not only splitting the wheat from the chaff, but you've got individuals that targeted you, where others are now choosing to separate from them. Others are not only retreating from targeting you, but they're also retreating and maintaining a low profile from those they had previously worked with. I heard because they know it's the end. They can't escape. And I just heard, you can't escape me. And I just felt a cold chill on my back, and then they said, Angel of Death, looking over you. We got Divine Feminine out here. We got the waiting and ops. So this lets me know, with gathering together, this lets me know that the Angel of Death is looking over you as like a protector. It is not your time. But these individuals are also feeling the chill of death on their physical vessel, knowing that their time is coming. I'm also hearing some of these individuals may be blaming you for deaths that have already occurred. But there's nothing they can do about it with what they now know. It's like you yourself are a reaper. It's like you're the bringer of life as a God-ordained co-creator, but also a reaper, a bringer of death as an angelic enforcer. Because some of these individuals, that is their punishment for targeting you. And they're getting weaker and weaker by the day. It's like you as this angelic enforcer have been given the right to not only call judgment upon these individuals, but have their influence transferred to you. And I don't see you asking for this, but I see it being given to you, which has put these individuals in a position to where their vessel is very weak. Some of these individuals, their death was caused by their own actions, but with the stripping that they experienced, their vessel could not handle it. It was shocked. So some of these individuals' vessels deteriorated very quickly, while yours has been enhanced. And this may be why these individuals are blaming you, because they feel like you stripped somebody of life. Like you took their life force, but you didn't. It was given to you. I know that sounds very morbid, but that's what I'm seeing. Like if they were pouring their life force and their essence into attacking you, they were freely giving you their life force and their essence. If somebody was doing blood magic, that also is life force, that is essence. So it is added, we talked about ki before. It has been added to your ki, your life force, extensions on your life, which is why the Most High is saying that you will live a long, healthy life. Because your years have been added to with the years that have been stripped from these individuals that kept targeting you, especially if they were targeting you with death. They brought on their own demise. Some of them are angry. Yep. They're angry because they know you... They're angry because they know that individuals that had been targeting you took massive hits, and there are some individuals that passed away. They're viewing you as like the horseman itself, in a sense. Because this card is the abysmal. Danger, insecurity, overwhelmed, unpredictability, hazardous conditions, dark emotions, facing fear and courage. So you got individuals angry because the danger they caused you or attempted to cause you fell on somebody else's head or their own. Or somebody that they loved or working with. And you got others retreating because they know that they're in danger. You are a threat. You are a force. And they don't know how did you get so strong so quickly? Within, what would have taken the average soul? I won't say average, but what would have normally taken a soul years to learn, years to master, years to evolve into? Yet they still wouldn't have reached the heights that you had taken you weeks, maybe 2-3 years at most. You accelerated very quickly. And not only did you accelerate, you've reached heights they've never seen before. And not only have you reached heights they've never seen before, things on this planet matched your energy. You were that in tune with Mama Gaia. There was massive shakeups on this planet with every evolution you experienced. And this is the way the Divine set it up. Literally, you are God's secret, most sacred weapon. And you were to be activated. The seal within you was meant to be broken at a certain time for you to basically be the catalyst to this division. The catalyst to the wheat and the chaff being separated. The catalyst to those perceiving themselves as gods to be stripped. It is given like Abaddon. You were meant to be like the end. An angel of reconstruction, yet an angel of destruction. But you look so small, you look so unassuming. And again, like I said at the beginning of this live, these bloodlines have been doing this since the beginning. And it started off slowly. They needed to master what had been given to them. They needed to work with the occult information that had been given to them to perfect it in their own perception of what would keep them in these positions, what would keep their bloodlines in these positions. And it all came crashing down in one. That is so cold. That is so cold. That lifetimes of work broken down in one by you. Lifetimes of mastering knowledge took you one lifetime to decode and recode. Took you one lifetime, I won't say one, but it looks like one. With every lifetime that you went through that built up to this moment, because they didn't see previous lifetimes you've experienced. They may have been attempting to break into your energy and understand what you had come from, what you had experienced within previous lifetimes, but it was still unable to be fully pinpointed. It was still unable to be fully disclosed to them. The experience you had that led you up to this lifetime being your most powerful. So it appears to them that you had mastered all of this in one lifetime, and the reality that everything that was directed towards you woke up certain things within your spirit body, your system, that you had experienced in previous lifetimes that were meant to be activated within this one. So it looks like it took one lifetime, but really, it took many. And within this lifetime, that's when all forms, all necessary aspects of previous lifetimes came into action. And this is what has put you in a position to be an angelic enforcer. This is why God has given you this title. And you have used this title so wisely. This is incredible. And they never saw it coming. Lifetimes of corrupting this planet. Lifetimes of working on and mastering occult ancient knowledge that had been given to them by supernatural beings, fallen angel bloodlines that had chosen to procreate with these specific bloodlines. The advanced technology that had been corrupted and used to manipulate this realm and assist in the installation of the inorganic grid system, all broken down in one. Whoo, that's gotta be, deliverance. That's gotta be a hard pill to swallow. Everything that they had used to distort and disrupt this realm, it has now been delivered from. Liberation from obstruction, release, relief, a fresh approach, finding a solution, and exhilaration. I know it may not look like it, but get excited. These are the changes we have been praying for. The cries of the martyr have been heard, and it's time. It's time for what had been corrupted to be corrected. Let me read this card. We've got gradual progress, continuity, slowly but surely, adaptability, a time-honored approach. It's time. With work on what has been spoiled, healing, correcting past mistakes, making repairs, cleaning up corruption, restoring balance, and responsible action. It is time for the planet and all those upon it to heal, for past mistakes to be corrected, for corruption to be cleaned up so more repairs can be made, restoring balance, all with the responsible action that we have taken as divine revolutionary leaders. Ooh, the joy. This is what I meant by get excited. The joy, happiness, delight, interaction, open communication, goodwill, friendly persuasion, and self-expression with the gentle. The gentle is faith, a soft approach, penetrating, a subtle but deep influence, understanding, nonviolence, and moderation, which lets me know, especially with the word that stood out to me, faith. The divine is bringing in a lot of happiness, a lot of joy that you are due to experience for what you have done for this planet and what has been dismantled, because this isn't just about what you're experiencing. It's about what the planet has been birthed into after the rebalancing of the scales, after the corruption had been corrected, after the cleanup crew is sweeping through, which we are currently experiencing. Approaching completion for peace and increase and power. I can't make this shit up. We already have abundance out here. So, approaching completion. Basically, the purification process is almost complete. The upheavals with the sixth seal are almost complete. This is final attainment, victory, a crescendo, a job well done, perfection, peak performance and prudence, with advancing, a warm reception, prosperous conditions, increased influence, hopefulness, lightening up, and an arrival. With power, this is strength of character, authority, dignity, influence, self-confidence, leadership, peak condition, and potency. With increase being sharing, reaping rewards, overflow, expansion, flowering, encouragement, fertile ground, and abundance. With peace, harmony, balance, perfection, a sense of well-being, favorable conditions, expansion, and equipoise. Beautiful energy. This is the completion we are reaching. An influence transfer, an influence and affluence, power transfer, a wealth transfer, destinies being returned, peace being restored. The meek shall inherit the land. And this time is fast approaching. I love that. We got decrease, which is a sacrifice, and then we got prosperity coming through. These individuals sacrifice their own positions, pushing upwards to steady progress, gaining confidence, steady challenges, a promotion, receiving recognition, wealth, good fortune, success, express gratitude by supporting others and material possessions. With decline, cutting back, frugality, contraction, letting go, less is more, resourcefulness, and a sacrifice. These individuals that attempted to come up against you sacrificed their own movement. Everything they had poured so much time and energy and money into in order to control this realm, in order to maintain these positions. All sacrifice, and again, being given to you. They said equally dispersed amongst the divine. Excuse me, corrected. Equally dispersed amongst the divine. Following. Those following the path of enlightenment. Thank you. Following. Those loyal to the path of enlightenment. Equally dispersed to the divine. This is loyalty, adaptability, cooperation, trust, reliability, sensitivity to others, service, receiving guidance. With fire, illumination, inspiration, devotion, and all-consuming passion, regeneration, spirituality, virtue, and enlightenment. Dispersed equally amongst the divine. Those that have been trustworthy and will be trusted with this. Those that have been cooperative, loyal, have been able to adapt, have been sensitive to others, who have been receiving guidance on how to be of service by or through their soul's expression. Spirituality, enlightenment, their devotion to the divine, the way that they are illuminating certain subjects that others may have been in the dark about, the way they're igniting this fire within others to go towards their passion and their life purpose. All of this has come into play. Excuse me, they corrected me. I was going to say has come into play on why the planet has advanced this way. And they said, yes, but it is also why you're going to be receiving more than you anticipated. This is how these corrupted powers in place are having their power stripped, and there's so much of it, their influence, their prosperity, their power, and there's so much of it, it will be equally distributed amongst the divine children, the chosen souls, the sacred souls, those that have been obedient. It is being given to them in segments, but is far more than you anticipated. The meek will inherit the earth. We got opposition. Came out sideways. The ops have been blocked. Opposition. Inner truth. But this you already know. You know that these individuals have been blocked from whatever they were attempting to do, where it only enhanced you. This is about the wisdom of the heart, insight, clarity, purity, intuitive knowing, consciousness, and penetrating through illusion. And it's got them stressed. Stress, overload, exhaustion, obsessiveness, gluttony, burdens, worries, the breaking point. This is the breaking point. There is nothing they can do to stop what is about to occur for you and the towers that are coming down on them. The wrath of the divine judgment, the webs that they have caught themselves up in. Ooh! We got the attraction of opposites. Looks like these individuals may have even attempted to siphon your pure essence and energy through some type of intimate rituals they were doing. And this put them in judgment. I was going to say this put them in an even more compromising position. But what the divine said, I don't like what I'm seeing. Since they weren't, all right, I got to talk about this. Since they weren't able to obtain the essence or elongate the time frame of the essence they had acquired within their bodies, they felt like yours would reside permanently within their being. They were attempting to obtain your divine light in the way that, like we had previously talked about, they had done to innocent souls they had tormented and tortured in order to acquire that type of rush through their entire system and the activations. The underworldly augmentation they would experience with what they were doing. These individuals attempted to do it to you, but each and every time you broke through the illusion and it backfired, causing some of these individuals to experience negative repercussions to their reproductive organs. That's what I will say. These repercussions hit their reproductive organs in the worst way, because of the type of rituals they were participating in an attempt to get your energy. Ew. So no matter what they do, this is justice. No matter what they do, this is justice. Biting through, take decisive action, restore order. Force applied with sensitivity, justice, and a tenacious devotion to a task. So this is their karma. This is how the scales will be balanced. Some of you, this could include a karmic familial unit that was working to keep you in a position to where you would not ascend so they could continually access your energy. Whole world under judgment right now. Sixth seal. What is this? Some of you have karmic familial members that are they're being detained in this moment. I did talk about this yesterday on the video that I posted explaining why I was not going to go live. Because I didn't feel like that information is imperative for the collective to know. You will receive information if that part of the message is for you, that specific family members have been detained for attempting to keep something from you, and because their spell work backfired, putting them in a compromising position to where their attempts to manipulate the judicial system failed. Again, you will know if that's that part for you, because you will receive some type of communication. Somebody in this karmic familial unit could have also died or could have left you something with their demise. But again, I don't feel like that's important. I feel like the organizations, networks, and societies should be our main focus right now, because these karmic familial units, hold on, because your girl is, I ought to put on some chapstick. I just don't feel like, I feel like the focus should be on these organizations, networks, and societies because of the plan for the planet and what needs to be known about what these individuals knew they were doing and why they moved the way they did and why certain things came into play. I really don't feel like this karmic familial unit is like imperative. But what you do need to know is you're being vindicated. There is justice being served in all corrupted situations that you would experience that had caused you an injustice or attempted to. Now, I do want to see what the ancestors have to say. Let me see. Because there is a massive upheavals. We do have receiving at the bottom of the deck, being brought into form. You're about to receive something in the physical. There are massive upheavals happening to a karmic familial dynamic as well as an ex. But our main prerogative right now is to address the influx of light energy being poured into this planet, the current sixth seal being broken, the observation of each and every soul on this, the observations that are being made of this planet and by each and every soul on this planet, and how we are experiencing the purification process and how we are meant to advance. Again, focus on the light with what is occurring. It may seem very chaotic. I did see the Sacred Fool. It is very chaotic. But again, chaos must occur before peace. So the chaos that you are seeing is a part of the purification of the planet. We chillin'. Big chillin'. Exactly. What else do we need to know? What would you like us to know, divine ancestors that are of our highest vibrational good and that are here to protect us and assist with the advancement of the planet? What do we need to, what do we need to know? Collaborative dreaming. We are working together, or what we have worked together on has manifested. Spirals of manifestation with collaborative dreaming. What we have collectively worked together on is happening. It has manifested the perfection of life, which is giving the planet the purification that leads to a better world, a better experience. You receiving, each and every one of you, receiving what is due to you, with your debt, your karmic debt being paid, and you advancing in this way, as well as y'all just saw me shuffle the deck, a sacred new beginning with the Sacred Fool here. Legacy of light. So the ancestors are saying the legacy lives. The legacy is happening now. With those that attempted to manipulate this beginning, because I know you see that she's wearing a jester's hat. I know you can also see that she's playing with a puppet here. We were meant to be in this position, but these individuals have been made a mockery of. Especially with the jester hat, they now feel like fools. But with this being the Sacred Fool, this is also a leap of faith that is due to be taken. We are no longer in this position. The strings have been cut. Now we have been freed and stepped into this sacred new beginning that only we can move into. They are no longer puppet masters. They can no longer walk around and be perceived as gods. They are not. They never were. And with this legacy of light, what these individuals had been playing puppet master to obtain is being called back to the true legacy, the true light that it belongs to. Thank you, ancestors. That's a beautiful message. This fell on the sacred fool. What do you feel? And then Pandora's gift. You can feel that shit is going down right now. Especially with her looking up at the world. You are receiving downloads from the ethers and the ancestors that the ball's in your court. You have everything you need. You're about to have even more. I do know, because she's holding an orange and an apple. I do know an orange is about abundance, prosperity, happiness. I'll have to look more into what an apple means, but you may want to research it. Yes, Ash, fruitful. Fruitful. I love that. That gave me goosebumps. Fruitful. You hold your harvest in your hand. You unexpectedly got $1,200. Look at that, Aubrey. Yes. That's incredible. Yes. And there's even more to come. Congratulations, by the way. You deserve that. And everything else that you receive, every blessing and miracle that you are due to get and have and experience. As we were just talking about being fruitful, would you look at that? An unexpected bag. And even more to come. Well, these individuals opened up Pandora's box and it is waging absolute hellfire on their experience, on their lives. So while you are about to be very fruitful, these individuals that against the grain rebelled against the movement forward, tried to create currents against us moving forward, have opened up Pandora's gift upon themselves. What else do we need to know? Let me see. Ancestors, is that it? Is there anything else you would... The word that wants to be written just fell on Pandora's gift. There's going to be more information declassified. There is going to be more information. The word that wants to be written, there's going to be more released. This could be somebody that wants to reach out to you because of the judgment they are under, which could have been the ex that we were talking about yesterday on the video I posted, saying why I wasn't going to go live. I feel like for some of you, you have an ex that they don't want to be sacrificed. So they want to reach out. But again, that's irrelevant. This is also about the declassification of more information pertaining to because the world's under judgment. Free from judgment and free to love. There is more being released, yes. There's more that's about to be declassified. I feel it's going to have something to do with not only supernatural beings, but manifestation. Especially with this being green, or possibly where certain abundance has been going. What certain corrupted elite individuals have been investing in order to free themselves from judgment and have people love them. Trying to regain influence and control over this realm. We got seeing the true you and trust yourself. Because they want the masses, they want us to trust them. But we keep seeing the true them. So, yeah, you're going to see more about who these individuals, you're going to see the true them. They can no longer hide. Because we trust ourselves and we no longer trust them or anything they have to say. Which is consistently breaking through any illusion they're attempting to project to regain this is interesting. To regain mass trust. I never thought I would say something like that, but it's like there are things that are being done that are now being declassified on what was done in order to maintain the trust of the people. So we would never question decisions. And it's now being exposed what individuals invested in to cover up other things to maintain the trust of the people. I wonder what that's going to be. I wonder what they paid to cover up so that they could... I'll have to meditate on that. I want to know. Be the hunter, who they were hunting, what they were doing to people, how they were silencing people, how they were manipulating people, how they were outcasting, trying to create division, trying to look like they were doing the right thing or appear to be doing the right thing for the betterment of the people, to gain the trust of the people. But it was really to make sure that this is giving like whistleblower. I'll have to meditate more on this, you guys. But just know that's what's being released. This is also about the individuals that were hunting you are now the ones that are hunted. Shock of the new. And that's what's shocking to them, is the fact that you knew. Shock of the new, and she feels she knows of the changes in the judgment on the world. Whether you are a she or a he, they know that you know. They know that you know that the sixth seal is broken, and it has a lot to do with you and how you were targeted, how you were hunted, how you were gang stalked, what they attempted to project over you, how they tried to mentally manipulate you and experiment on you, and now they're shocked. They're shocked that everything they did only evolved you into something new. And the world evolved with you. They know that you are a powerhouse. They know that you know that everything that's happening in the world has a lot to do with you. Ooh! And ancestors know it too. Ancestors are going, yeah, that's my baby. That is my baby. Look at the changes my baby has helped make, or has made in general, as a God-ordained co-creator. And the fact I said general, as a sergeant, a sacred soul sergeant, as a head divine general, as a angelic enforcer. Wow. And again, if you're going through any health issues right now, you're healing. This was consistent attacks to target you and cause some type of demise that your vessel is not only healing from, but it was in preparation of how your vessel would need to go through certain changes in order to house the energy that you've accumulated. So your vessel's going to be changing very soon in different ways because of the way that you've healed and how your vessel has been prepared for how big your energy is. So just know, anything that you've been experiencing, again, I am not a doctor, so if it's weird, you're going to want to go get it checked out. But you will know if this is for you, because you will know that something has changed, and then you will start to see that your vessel has changed, and something that you were experiencing previously, you won't be. And this will be within the next like 24 to 48 hours for some of you. So I'm gonna leave it right there, you guys. I feel like this was a heavier message. There's so much to unwrap, unveil, and I'm still not done yet. I'm gonna meditate some more. I will be live over on TikTok. We'll see what we talk about over there. But for now, with this message, we may get into more about it in the beginning later, but I'm gonna meditate more on this and see what the divine has planned for what has been relayed in this message. But I will be live over on TikTok in like 30 minutes. So if I won't see you over on TikTok in 30 minutes, I will see you again tomorrow. So until then, remain peaceful, unconditionally loving, stand united, and remain respectful, unless disrespected. Then check with the Most High and check your motherfucking self before you check a motherfucker with grace. And yes, Crystal, let's go big steppers. Big divine steppers, angelic enforcers, galactic chosen children of the Most High, 144,000 in the house. Y'all are doing incredible, massive things for this planet. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot. I'm also hearing some of you may have helicopters flying around your house. There's a reason for that. You are, like Crystal said, you are a big stepper. You got eyes on you trying to figure out what the fuck going on, bro. I don't know why that's relevant. Some of you needed to know. Every time you step outside, there's a fucking chopper out there. That's why. They watching. Peekaboo. Exactly, ethereal. Peekaboo. Anyways, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I honor you. And like XXXTentacion would say, 888. If anybody tells you to lay down, run them the fuck over. But not with your car. Vroom, vroom. With your energy, because we have nothing to prove. Our energy obviously does it for us. And last but most definitely not least, drink your motherfucking water, which I need to go get mine because it's kind of across the room. I will be taking my own advice. Remain grounded, stay balanced, and remember who the fuck you are and what you are capable of. Big things. As a big stepper and making big shit happen on this planet, you are capable of doing big things, which is why Tupac energy, all eyes on me. That's why all eyes are on you. Give them a show. I love you. And until I see you next, bye. And I'm proud of you.